Introducing your prom cleaning king, Sylvie and Carson. Just a few months ago, I never would have thought this was possible. Someone like me winning prom queen. But really, this win is for all of you.
You! Sylvie is a liar. She has been playing all of you, and I can prove it. My name is Sylvie, and that girl you just saw barge in, she made my life a living hell. Eloise, Carson, and I were best friends in elementary school. We were inseparable.
I got snacks.
We told each other our secrets.
When I get older, I'm running to Japan.
My mom wants me to wear sweets, but I like mess. I used to be a triplet, but my mom says I ate my sisters in the womb.
We supported each other's dreams.
My friend wants to be a journalist. Hire her!
And we were always kind.
My mother would never let me eat this. You like Carson, don't you? Don't laugh. I'd never laugh at you.
But in middle school, everything changed. A fire burned down the candy factory in town. It was really bad. Tons of people lost their jobs. My dad, Elliot, Eloise's mom, and Carson's mom. Our parents worked things out, but Carson's mom got a job in another town and they had to move.
Are you sad Carson moved? Are you sad about the fire? No! Leave me alone!
I thought it was just Carson moving, but Eloise stopped talking to me and turned mean. Eloise found her new rich friends and used me as a punching bag.
Wow! Brave of you to sit with Sylvie!
Why?
She ate her sisters in the womb! A serial killer!
Thanks to Eloise, no kids have hung around with me since. To distract myself, I buried myself in newspapers until I had a better idea. Why not do some investigating of my own? Everyone ignored serial killer Sylvie, which worked out great. I could gather as much information as I wanted. My dad's janitor master key gave me special access. There was an ancient typewriter in the records room, which gave my column the perfect feel, and so the legend began. From there, I made copies in the teacher's lounge. Because of my paper choice, I named it The Rap.
Lindsay is only dating Parker to make Nate Geel. Who did you tell?
How did they know Meemaw is alive?
Each issue, more people got hooked. Crying, laughing, screaming. I crept around, listened, snuck in rooms, even rifled through desks. No one ever noticed. Eventually, high school hit and Carson moved back. He never understood why. Eloise and I stopped being friends, and I couldn't bring myself to explain. Since then, she left me alone. My senior year, readers loved The Rap for being a raw, unfiltered voice of truth. And that was enough for me. Until
Eloise asked me out today.
Immediately I was suspicious. Carson was too nice to get along with someone so mean, unless she was tricking him.
We used to get along so well. Why couldn't it go back to that?
She was a mean girl now.
And Carson was gonna get himself hurt. I had to protect him. I had to find something to prove Eloise wasn't who Carson thought she was. Writing my own story about Eloise's bullying would have cast too much suspicion on me, so I had to dig deeper. There was nothing. Carson and Eloise dated for a few weeks and even volunteered at the memorial game for the candy factory fire. I was starting to think maybe I'd never expose Eloise, but I decided to try one last time.
Stop calling me here, Donnie! Nobody can know our meaning, especially not Carson.
She was cheating on Carson with some guy named Donnie. Usually I'd verify what I saw, but this time I was sure.
And revenge. It was pretty sweet.
Who's Donnie?
Where'd you hear that name?
Judging by how red Eloise's face got, I'd say I got it right.
Donnie's, complicated.
Just be honest with me.
I can't stand. Say. All right.
Can't say, or would rather not say because you're cheating on my best friend. You're a mean girl, Eloise.
I'm sorry I didn't listen.
I've got your back.
I was glad. Eloise seemed to regret it, but I felt like I was missing something. I couldn't find a Donnie R at any nearby high schools. The closest I found was a middle-aged reporter guy. A complete dead end. Then Eloise showed up.
I'm looking for the person behind the rap.
Eloise couldn't figure out who I was. As stressed as I was about Eloise trying to unmask me, spending time with Carson always made me feel better.
Nobody else in the world likes these burgers. Why aren't you and Eloise friends anymore?
Finally, I told him everything that happened after he moved away. About serial killer Sylvie, about the non-stop bullying, about how I had no friends.
That's terrible. If you told me all that, there's no way I would have dated her.
You didn't know.
Maybe the right person was in front of me this whole time.
I couldn't believe it. It was a dream come true. And you know what? Carson was right. It was terrible. I wasn't about to let her unmask me and ruin something that I built for myself, despite her bullying. Not when I had a way to fight back.
Irate homewrecker tries to destroy beloved local paper.
My fans were not happy with her.
It's not like that.
Eventually, I got a good idea. Why not publish some good stuff about myself, too? To protect myself. In case she ever got close, of course. Way to go, saving those puppies. My reputation changed overnight. I even started wondering if maybe I could be prom queen. I dropped some not-so-subtle hints to Carson, and he pulled off the dorkiest, cutest promposal ever. I'd never been so happy in my life. But of course, somebody was always trying to ruin it. Eloise was going off the deep end, trying to figure out my identity. She knew the writer was using a master key to get to the typewriter. I had to get rid of her, but I wasn't fast enough. Eloise told the principal, who blamed my dad. They fired him on the spot. How dare Eloise ruin my life in middle school? How dare she try to date Carson? How dare she get my dad fired? I waited until she and her family were away for the weekend, and I snuck in to find something she could never recover from. Her room was pristine. To be honest, it didn't even look like a teenager lived in there at all. Finally, I found it. Honestly, it was pretty impressive. She was closing in on my identity. If I couldn't get any dirt on her, at least I could destroy it. But then I saw something on the back. What? The articles, clippings, everything there was to know about the candy factory fire. I dug deeper into her room and found something truly terrifying. The gas can. Like a serial killer trophy, Eloise had burned down the factory. There was only one thing left to do: expose her like a true investigative journalist. No wonder Eloise called me those terrible things all those years ago. She was projecting. Because she was a criminal, Eloise switched to homeschooling while the police started their investigation. It's what she deserved. I had my own life to worry about. Finally, prom arrived.
Wow!
It was the perfect night, and it only got better. Just when I thought the night was mine, Eloise shows up, ready to wreck everything all over again.
Sylvie is a liar who ruins lives. She's been manipulating you all, and I can prove it. It's the same kind of wrapper the first rap was written on, so only one person in town eats here. Sylvie, she's the one who spread all the rumors. And she lied about who burned down the factory.
A dirty wrapper proves nothing. And shouldn't you be on house arrest?
I didn't do it, and you made that up.
Why would I lie about you?
Because I ruined your life years ago. I was a bully and it was wrong. I was going through a lot. I'm sorry. You deserved better.
Everyone was staring at me, and I realized they believed her. I had to act fast.
You just admitted to being exactly who the rap says you are.
What?
The rap called you a selfish, dangerous bully, and you just confirmed it.
Yes, but I didn't cheat or burn down the factory.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. I won!
I went to get fresh air and found Carson. He looked upset.
Eloise wasn't wrong, was she? That's your favorite burger place. Your dad had the master key. You've always wanted to be a journalist.
My heart pounded in my throat.
Yes, I write the rap, but Eloise is still awful.
If you knew she cheated, why didn't you tell me? If she burned down the factory, why not go to the police? Is any of it true?
Of course.
Then why didn't you own it?
I saw her talking to someone named Donnie. She said not to tell you.
Do you know who he is? Do you have proof? If it was real, wouldn't she be arrested by now?
I mean, it looked like.
But you didn't check. You weren't sure.
It wasn't the exact truth, but it's what she deserved.
Wow, she bullied you, but you're the one bullying her now. We're done. Sylvia.
Carson!
I felt sick. Had I messed up? Had my anger made me blame an innocent person? Eloise had ruined my middle school experience over a rumor. Had I ruined her life over the same thing? I knew what I had to do. One more issue of the rap to set the story straight. Everything was back to how it was in middle school, except worse, because I deserved it.
Sylvie to the office. Sylvie is a bully. She falsely accused a student of a heinous crime.
Nothing could compare to the shame I felt seeing my parents' disappointed faces. I had a lot of time to myself. I went through old yearbooks of me, Carson, and Eloise when we were younger. What had happened to my best friend? Why did she become so rich but so miserable? Why was she looking into that factory fire? I got permission from my parents to visit Eloise, and I texted her to make sure it was okay. When she said yes, I went over immediately.
First, I'm sorry, Eloise. I was completely wrong, and I'll do whatever I can to make things right. Second, what happened all of those years ago? You completely changed, and now you're looking into that factory fire.
Suddenly, a terrified look crossed Eloise's face.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why I'm asking. I think something is going on, and I want to help.
Why should I trust you?
Honestly, I haven't earned your trust. I was horrible to you. You didn't deserve that.
Something in her face softened. I think she realized that I meant it, and tears welled up in her eyes. Then the whole story unraveled.
Donnie is a journalist. On the night of the factory fire, I saw something my mother leave in the middle of the night with a can of gasoline. We always read the paper in the morning, but that day, my mother took it away. Everybody else's parents were devastated, but my mother wasn't. I worked up the courage to ask her why. She told me she burned down the factory and that she'd done it for me, for my future. A competitor candy factory had paid her a ton of money to take it out. She'd hurt people and it was all my fault. They had this terrible secret and I couldn't bear it. I was horrible to you and I have no excuse except that I was miserable and I didn't want someone like you to be around someone like me.
Louise, none of that was your fault. You have to know that.
I wanted to bring my mother to justice, but I didn't want to hurt Carson after what his family went through. And now...
It's all ruined. I have the evidence. If you want to do this, we can do it together.
I'm scared.
I know, but I'll be with you. Together...
We reassembled the story of exactly what happened that night and went to meet Eloise's contact, Donnie, the reporter who broke the original story about the factory fire. It didn't take long for the story to hit print. Everyone was shocked. Eloise's evidence was spot on, but once it was pointing in the right direction, her mother was arrested on the spot. When I was allowed back out of the house, Eloise, Carson, and I met at the best burger joint in town.
This place still sucks.
I know, right?
It wasn't overnight, and it wasn't perfect, but we'd solved the biggest mystery our town had ever seen. Over time, we got closer again and became inseparable.
This story is fictional. We do not encourage stalking, defamation, or invasion of privacy. This video is meant to share a message about truth, courage, and forgiveness.
Hi, my name is Mira and I'm from Delhi, India. I lived with my parents and my twin sister Nani, and even though they loved me to bits, I was pretty sure I was adopted. I was born with a condition that turned my skin white and my hair blonde. I looked totally different from my twin, and basically everyone in my city. I was so sure that I was adopted that Mom and Dad had to do a test to prove me wrong. My sister didn't make it any easier. Nani nicknamed me Ghost Girl, and that spread like wildfire. She would act like she got scared whenever she saw me.
Oh no, it's the ghost! Someone saved me!
One night I sneaked into Nani's room and waited for her under her bed. When she lied down, I pulled her by her ankles and she screamed. There, now I scared you for real! I could terrify Nani into behaving, but other people, not so much. As we grew up, people looked at Nani like she was a goddess, and when they saw me, they asked,
You look tired. Did you not sleep? Are you sick?
When I was in the 8th grade, I fell madly in love with a boy in my class. When I worked up the courage to ask him out, he looked deep into my eyes and said,
Your eyelashes are see-through. It's like they're not even there. So creepy.
That stung! I slapped him and ran away in tears. I was heartbroken, and when people called me stupid nicknames now, it hit worse than ever. Nani tried to cheer me up, but a walking vision of beauty would never understand how I felt. I wanted to be anyone but me, and I got my chance to do that in just a few weeks. Our teacher in school introduced us to a pen pal program. Each of us had to write to a kid our age from a whole other country. When I got my first email from a boy named Archer, I was excited. He knew nothing about me, and I could be anyone I wanted. I told him I played the piano and the violin, and that I was tall, tan, with long, shiny black hair. When we exchanged photos, I just sent him a picture of Nani. When he sent me his picture back, I literally screamed he was gorgeous. Nani spotted the picture from behind me and jumped on it.
He's cute. Who is he? Tell me right now or I'm showing Mom.
I told her what I did and I thought she would get mad at me for using her picture like that. But she just said,
So, we can tell him anything.
I guess.
Let's tell him our parents are spies.
We spent hours making up crazy stories to tell Archer. Most of them were too ridiculous to use, but it was so fun coming up with them. Even though I wasn't totally honest with him, I genuinely enjoyed Archer. We tried to beat each other in online games all day long, and we talked for hours into the night. I thought I'd never have to pay for the lies, I told him, until one day when my dad gave me some horrifying news.
I got a job in Portland, Oregon. We're moving to America.
That was the city where Archer lived. There was no way I was telling him about this, and I kept acting like I was in Delhi long after I'd already moved to the States. I really thought I could hide until the first day of my new high school. I walked into class and my eyes landed on Archer. No, this was my nightmare. The teachers asked us to introduce ourselves, and without thinking, I decided to switch names with my sister. I'm Nani, and this is my sister Mira.
What?
I rushed Nani out of class later and told her what happened.
This is crazy. We can't switch names for the whole school just for one guy.
Please. He's the only friend I've ever had. I don't want him to find out like this. That was when Archer stepped out of class, looking really mad. He looked at Nani thinking it was me.
Mira, is that you? Oh my god. What are you doing here? I thought you were in Delhi.
I didn't tell you I was moving here.
No! You sent me a picture of you in Delhi yesterday.
Nani was out of words.
If you didn't want to meet me, you should have just said so.
He walked away and I cringed. I'd messed up big time. Archer stopped responding to my emails, and he didn't accept any of my gaming requests. I deserved the cold shoulder, but it made me so sad. I tried to make some new friends in school, and to my shock, it was actually easy. Things were different here from back home. I no longer got bullied for being blonde because there were blondes everywhere. People were actually nice to me, but the problem was they were cold to Nani. She was the one who looked much different now, and people here didn't treat her like a goddess. Nani acted like it didn't bother her, but I knew she was lying. One day we were in school when a boy asked Nani out. When she said no, he started messing with her. He threw her books on the ground and said,
Who do you think you are? Whatever, you're ugly anyways.
Tears of shock filled Nani's eyes. I flew to hit him, but a hand showed up out of nowhere and punched his lights out. It was Archer. He picked up Nani's books and handed them to her.
Are you okay, Mira?
Yes.
Then he just walked off without another word.
Wow, he's amazing.
I know, too bad he'll never talk to me again.
Wait, I have an idea.
Nani ran up to Archer and apologized to him as me.
I was nervous about whether you'd like me, so I just lied. Can you please forgive me? I'll buy you dinner to make up for it.
She was going out with him now. I asked Nani what her plan was, and she said,
I'll gently break the truth to him. Then you guys can be friends and we can stop lying.
I agreed to her plan, but after their first date, Nani came back without telling him. I asked her what happened, and she looked really weird.
He didn't give me a chance to say it. He talks nonstop. I'll tell him next time.
Next time, they went out on a date again. I trusted Nani, so I waited for her. But 2 more dates happened, and she didn't do it. One day, I followed Nani to spy on their date. I saw them outside a restaurant. Nani leaned in to kiss him. Oh my God! I was about to scream, but Archer held her back at the last moment. Nani! I mean Mira!
Wow, why are you here?
I gave Archer a flimsy excuse and pulled Nani away with me. You like Archer, don't you? That's why you're not telling him.
No, he's just sweet. And he made me feel special. I couldn't say it.
Do you really like him? Tell me the truth. When she said yes, I felt like someone shocked me. So that was your plan? Keep dating him till he falls in love with you?
Can't you go get another boyfriend? You're the pretty one now, and I'm the ugly outcast, right?
Nani, don't say that.
You sent him my picture. He chose to meet me on every date. Not you, ghost girl.
I couldn't help it. I slapped her. I didn't care about Archer. I just couldn't believe she said that to me. That was the biggest fight Nani and I had ever had. We stopped talking for days. I was so upset that I even stopped emailing Archer. They could be together for all I cared. One day, Nani and I came home from school, and we saw Archer walking out of our house. What? Nani ran up to him.
Hi, are you here to see me?
No, I'm here to see Mira.
Nani froze, and Archer looked right at me. For the first time, I knew he was seeing me.
I had a feeling something was wrong from the first day, but I had to be sure. Your parents told me your real names. Want to tell me the truth now?
There was no backing out of this. Fine, it's me. I'm Mira. I got bullied for how I looked back home, so I sent you Nani's photo.
Why didn't you say it when you got here? You lied to the whole school.
I didn't want you to find out that way.
You let me go out with your sister. When were you going to tell me?
That's when Nani jumped in between us.
I stopped Mira. She wanted to tell you, but I made her wait.
Why?
Because I like you. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop liking you. I just wanted some time.
For what? To play with my feelings like I'm your toy? You're both liars, and I never want to see you again.
With that, he stormed off and Nani burst into tears. She locked herself in her room and refused to come out. The next day, she told everyone in school our real names.
Just like that.
Stop it, we'll get in trouble.
I don't care. I'm done lying for you. I want my name back.
The word spread like wildfire. And when our teachers heard about the mess, they took us straight to the principal's office. She was furious. She made our parents drive over from work.
Your daughters switched identities. They've been taking each other's exams. Their scores are all mixed up. We don't tolerate scams in our school. You're both expelled immediately.
My heart dropped. Expelled! This couldn't be happening. We got the screaming of a lifetime on our way back home. I was in so much shock that I couldn't even cry. Had I just ruined our lives over a stupid lie? The first few days out of school were just frantic. Our whole family sat together and filled out school applications one after the other. If Nani and I even looked at each other, our parents would explode. A week later, they dropped a bomb on us. They were sending us to separate schools. They didn't want any more accidents. The truth was, I didn't want to go to school without Nani. What would I even do by myself? But I had too much pride to protest, and she didn't say anything either. When our parents showed us how far our school buildings were, it suddenly hit me. No, we can't go to separate schools. What? Nani and I can't be this far away. It's just wrong.
Really? But after everything I did, don't you hate me?
No, we're twins, aren't we? We're a package deal. We begged our parents to give us one last chance to be together. When they finally agreed, Nani and I were so relieved.
I'm so sorry about everything, Mira. I was the worst sister ever. I called you names. I went after a guy I knew you liked. How could I be so horrible?
When I was getting bullied every day, Archer was so kind to me. He did the same for you, and you love that.
But I love you more. I can't believe I forgot that. Can you ever forgive me?
Of course I can. You'll always be my other half. We hugged each other in tears, and the heavy weight finally left my chest. We promised to always be on each other's side. Nani even asked me to make up with Archer. I was working up the courage to text him, but before I could do that, he showed up at our house. Nani pushed me to talk to him alone. He was so worried about our expulsion. He wasn't even mad at me. He just wanted to know if we were okay. We're gonna get into a new school. It'll be fine. I'm so sorry for everything, Archer.
You should be. You made me wait forever.
I thought you wouldn't like the real me.
I didn't like you because of your pictures. I liked you because you were sweet and funny, and you got really mean when you beat me at games.
My face was totally red now. Is there any way I can make it up to you?
There is one way. Go out with me for real this time.
My jaw hit the floor. Are you serious?
I think the girl I fell in love with is still here. I want to get to know her. What do you say?
I was so happy that I jumped into his arms to hug him. He took me by surprise and gave me a kiss.
I'll take that as a yes.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. Please like and subscribe. I was born in Bordeaux, a beautiful city in France. When I was 8 years old, we moved to the USA because my dad got a great job there. The city we moved to was huge, filled with skyscrapers, shops, and opportunities, for so I was told. However, it didn't take long for things to start going downhill. When I began attending school there, my parents enrolled me in a private school for international students.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charlotte. I'm 8 years old and I come from France. I brought some madeleines that my mom made for everyone today.
Hi, Charlotte. I'm Laura from Italy. Do you want to hang out later today?
Laura and I became very close. We would often take the same bus home, do our homework together, and even attend drawing classes together. Even though Laura didn't speak any French, being with her reminded me a lot of home. I was shy and liked to keep things to myself, while Laura was fun and a bit wild. Someone my mom wouldn't think was classy. Mom really didn't like Laura. She kept trying to make me hang out with kids from rich families that I didn't like, but I ended up making friends with 2 girls just so Mom would stop nagging me. One evening, I forgot to tell Mom I invited Laura over for dinner. Mom was really mean to Laura when she came.
Charlotte mentioned your mom is a saleswoman. Do you guys even eat dinner every night, or is it too expensive at least?
Why would you say something like that?
Hey, it's okay, Uncle. No, we don't always have big dinners, but what we do have is each other. What's the point of a fancy dinner if the family isn't close?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Did I upset you? I thought your family was okay.
I think you should go!
Mom! Why?
She's not going anywhere.
She leaves now, or you'll be sorry.
Awkward silence fell, which Laura broke.
Don't worry, I'll go. Seems like I just got my answer about the kind of family this is.
Leave now!
And with that, Laura left. I was really upset with Mom, but she didn't seem to care. Laura told me not to let it bother me.
You already have it tough with a mom like that. I won't make it worse by leaving you alone.
I love you for being here.
One gloomy day in the 6th grade. Everything changed when my parents started to struggle financially after my dad lost his job and they had to move me to a public school.
We can't just pull her out of school. She's doing so well. What would I even say to my friends if they asked? I want her to succeed here in the USA, to make something of herself, and make me proud.
Dad slammed his hand angrily on the table and glared at Mom.
At least think clearly for once. You're not seeing the big picture. As usual, you don't seem to get that I've lost my job and we're drowning in bills. The only sensible move is to switch her to public school.
Yes, Mom was a bit of a difficult person. She was obsessed with maintaining a perfect image. Being perceived as poor was a disaster for her. Her mom was also a strict lady, obsessed with etiquette and rules. She was against my mom's marriage, although my dad was well off. But Mom stood firm and married Dad, so her parents cut her off. Now us not having much money would make my grandma right, and that made my mom even madder. She made us move to a different city so she could lie and tell her friends that Dad had received a job opportunity far away. I screamed and cried for days. I didn't want to leave our city or be away from Laura. But as usual, Mom ignored my protests. I was heartbroken.
Dad, I hate her.
Hate is a strong word. You know how your mom is. She wants things her way. Life hasn't ended, though. You'll make new friends. And about Laura, you can still talk to her on the phone, and I'll help you see her once in a while.
Thank you, Dad. You're too kind to be with someone like her, but I guess life isn't fair.
Saying goodbye to Laura was incredibly hard. And to make things worse, after we moved, I realized I forgot the notebook with Laura's number in it. It was utterly heartbroken. Even though we didn't have a lot of money, Mom kept having big parties at fancy places for her friends. We were getting more and more into debt, even though Dad asked her many times to stop the parties. One day, she even gave her friend a really expensive ring for her birthday. Dad got really upset when the bank called him.
Listen, woman, I can't take this anymore. This is your last chance, If you don't stop, we might have to split up.
And I'll want to stay with Dad.
With that, Mom left. She was gone for a couple of days. Although Dad and I were worried, we didn't try to reach her. It was time for her to act like the adult she supposedly was. When she returned, she walked into the house and started doing laundry as if nothing had happened. From that day on, she stopped seeing her friends so much and didn't waste our money anymore. I was relieved she finally came to her senses, but I could see a change in her. Her eyes had lost. Well, things at the public school weren't perfect either. At first it was okay, but things changed quickly. When I started junior year of high school, I noticed my body changing rapidly, even spotting some freckles on my face. It wasn't just my appearance that was changing. My social life was too suddenly always started looking at me differently. Girls were going out with boys and there seemed to be more parties.
Hey Charlotte, how about grabbing some ice cream after school? Just the 2 of us?
Just us? Alone?
Yeah, just us. Why were you planning on turning it into a group event?
Well, I thought maybe we could invite Jessica too.
Look, I wasn't making a guest list. You know what? Forget it. I got to go. And hey, Charlotte, or should I call you the lost little raccoon? Just because you're from France doesn't mean you're anything special here. If anything, it just shows you can't take a joke and always dampen the mood.
Before I could respond, he pressed his gum into my hair as he walked away. It was not just embarrassing, it felt like a sharp hug at my dignity. I came back home that day, wanting to tell Mom about it. She was cooking in the kitchen when I walked in.
Hi, Mom. I had a weird day at school today.
I really don't have time for your stories right now. You know, we've been living in the USA for quite a while, and you still call a lot of things weird.
I felt so angry I started crying. Our relationship wasn't that great to begin with, but now it felt ruined. If a girl doesn't find confidence in her mother, then the relationship feels distant, and each day I was growing further away from my mom. I headed to my room to put away my books when I spotted a sketchbook on my desk. It was from the drawing classes with Laura, and it had her number inside. Turns out it saved it here as well. I was ecstatic. I quickly and quietly went to the living room, wrapped my mom's phone, and dialed Laura's mom's number.
Hello, Elise. What do you want?
Hi, it's actually Charlotte here. Laura's friend from school. Do you remember me? Can I talk to Laura?
Oh, Charlotte. Yes, I remember you. One moment. Laura, your friend Charlotte is on the phone.
Wow, I've been trying to find you, but I couldn't. How are you?
Hey Laura, I'm not on social media much. I really miss talking to you. We should hang out soon. I'd love to, but my family is going to Europe this Friday.
Europe? That's so cool. I wish I could go too. You're so lucky.
Why don't you come with us? My grandparents' house is big and you can stay in the guest room.
I'd love to, but my mom would never say yes.
We don't have to tell her everything. Just say you're going on a school project abroad. She loves to brag about this stuff now.
Laura, that's smart. It's going to be so fun. We can eat lots of good food, see new places, and maybe even paint. I'd love to paint in a quiet spot away from all the noise, especially away from Mom.
In fact, I found out that the city Laura and I were visiting was hosting a big art competition during our stay, and I signed up for it. On Friday, my mother drove me to the airport with a big smile on her face. I got out of the car and walked to the airport gate when I saw Laura. She looked great and ran up to me.
Charlotte for going to Europe! It's going to be so fun!
I'm so excited. I entered a drawing contest over there too. The prize is also about $500,000. Can you come and cheer for me? It feels like a dream.
Sure! But you have to draw me and make my eyebrows look good.
I enjoyed spending time with Laura, but sometimes things felt off. It seemed like she would suddenly stop talking to her mom when I showed up, as if they were hiding something from me. One night after we had dinner, she said something strange.
You know, I was actually happy when your family started having money problems.
What? Why would you say that?
Well, your mom was a witch, and seeing her getting humiliated was so satisfying.
First of all, becoming poor has nothing to do with humiliation. Second, Mom becoming poor also means me becoming poor. I thought your love for me was bigger than your hate for her.
Oh, come on now! She's awful! Okay, let's change the subject. Want to eat some ice cream?
I suddenly don't feel like it. I think I'm calling it a night.
And with that, I stormed off. The competition day was getting close. It was going to last 2 days. The first for live painting in front of an audience, and the second for a closing ceremony where judges would announce the winners.
Do you think the judges will be fair?
I'm sure they will be. Are you excited to cheer me on?
Of course. Will you cheer for me too?
What do you mean?
I'm entering the competition too. You knew that, right?
What? No!
You think I've lost my touch? I've been taking drawing classes for the past year. I see this as a great chance.
But Laura, you never mentioned this.
I didn't think I needed to report my plans to you. Anyway, I think it's better we focus on our own preparations for the next few days, so we probably shouldn't hang out too much.
I was stunned. What happened to my best friend? I almost regretted coming on this trip. The only thing keeping me here was the upcoming competition. I was determined to win and get the prize. The first day of the competition arrived. We were led onto the stage, each competitor equipped with a set of pencils, colors, and a blank canvas. Laura leaned over with a mischievous grin and whispered,
May, the best girl.
I was too stressed to respond and just focused on getting onto the stage. That's when I saw it. The event was being broadcast live on TV. My heart sunk. I thought,
Oh no! My mom will see this. She'll ground me for life.
not only did I lie to her, but I'm also here with Laura, someone she can't stand. And now Laura, she turned out to be so different from what I thought. This is a nightmare. I wish I could just vanish. But I took a deep breath, pushed down my fear, and began to paint with all my heart, pouring every emotion onto the canvas. While sitting comfortably at home, my mom saw my face on the TV screen and yelled,
Pierre, our daughter, isn't on a school project. She's on TV with Laura. This is nonsense. She won't get away with this. We're flying to Europe.
My parents caught the next flight and arrived on the second day of the competition. Mom tried calling me the whole time, but I was too caught up with the competition and the drama with Laura to answer. On the final day, as I stood on stage with Laura and the other competitors, they started announcing the winners. Laura got second place and I was on the verge of tears until they announced Charlotte is the winner. Overjoyed, I walked towards the microphone to give a speech, only to see my mom storm into the hall. I was shocked and embarrassed. Yelling in front of everyone, she demanded,
How could you? Lie to me, Charlotte. You know there will be consequences. And with Laura, of all people.
Oh, me! Of all people, remember when you burned the book that Charlotte wrote my number in? You called and insulted me and my mom, who even threatened me, a child, to stay away from Charlotte. Do you want me to say what? You did too.
Shut it!
Don't you dare speak to my daughter like that. Laura, what exactly did my mom do to you?
Let it go! Didn't you just win? Take your prize and leave with your parents.
Your mom threatened Laura's mom with her connections in immigration, saying she'd get her deported.
What kind of sick person hates a kid like this? What has she ever done to you? You need help. I'm taking the prize money and I'm leaving with Dad. You should consider getting help. I'll even pay for your therapy.
I traveled all this way for you to side with her. What lies has she told you?
Enough! Let's go, Charlotte.
Laura, what my mom did was wrong, but targeting me wasn't fair. Still, I'm here if you want to start over.
Then I went to receive my medal and prize, hugged my dad, and we left.
Hi, my name is Callista, and I'm from Seattle. Please like and subscribe. I don't remember my dad, because soon after I was born, my parents got divorced. Mom got full custody of me since I was only a baby. She moved to Seattle for a fresh start and started working at a big law firm, but I never knew what happened to my dad. Growing up, Mom worked really hard to look after me and never really had any time for herself. And since she had no other family, I made sure I loved her enough for everyone. Surprise! Happy birthday, Mom!
Oh, sweetie, you're the best daughter in the world. I love you so much.
Once, when I was 8, Mom took me to a picnic at a nearby park. As I was playing hide and seek with her, a girl came and sat right next to me. Hey, what are you doing? Go away! There's only room for one person to hide here.
Yeah, that's why you leave, because this is my spot.
Saying that, she elbowed me, and I fell to the ground flat on my butt. Ah! I grabbed her hair and she screamed. Minutes later, the adults came running, but instead of separating us, Mom freaked out seeing the man.
You, what are you doing here?
Oh, Amber, it's been so long. Where have you been? I tried to reach you, but oh my God, is this Callista?
He suddenly lifted me up in his arms.
Oh, honey, this is your stepsister Lisa and I'm your dad.
My what?
No, you're not. Get away from my daughter.
Mom snatched me from his arms and took me back home. Mom, what's happening? That man was my dad. Why are we running away from Dad?
Don't call him your dad. He's a terrible father, and he was a terrible husband. Just forget about him, okay?
She looked super mad and shut herself up in her room. The next day, when I was coming back from school, Dad was waiting for me with Lisa. He had gifts and balloons in his hand.
Oh, Callista, here you go. Listen, I'm sorry I didn't come to see you before.
Why? Why didn't you come to see me before?
Sweetheart, I can't tell you. It was just awful. But I'm here now. Please give me a chance to make it up to.
He seemed so sweet, and I couldn't help thinking that it would be nice to have a dad like the other kids. Just then, Lisa stepped forward and apologized to me.
I'm sorry, Callie. I shouldn't have hit you the other day. Dad told me you're my elder sister. Do you want to be friends?
I shook her hand, and we both smiled. Later, Dad took both of us for some ice cream, and we all had a blast. But when he dropped me back home, and I went inside, Mom went bonkers on me.
Oh my God, do you have any idea how worried I was? Callie, I went to pick you up but you weren't there. And now you're coming home with that jerk, and what's all this?
I'm sorry, Mom, but Dad came to pick me up at school and he got me all this. Suddenly, she snatched everything from my hand and shoved it into the fireplace. Mom, no!
He's trying to buy your love with all these gifts. He's not a good person, Callie, and he doesn't care about you.
Why do you say that, Mom? What did he do?
I can't tell you. It was awful. Just trust me, okay? He and his family are evil.
But Mom, Lisa is...
You think she's any good? No! Lisa and her mom are horrible people just like him. And now he's back thinking he can just take you away from me.
Mom burst into tears and fell to the ground. I went ahead and hugged her tight. I'm sorry, Mom. I had no idea they were so bad and that you'd be so hurt. Please don't cry. No one's taking me. I love you the most. That night, I snuggled into Mom's bed and slept with her. And she looked happy, but I couldn't stop thinking, what weren't my parents telling me? The next day, I was sitting in my classroom working on my project when Lisa came running to me.
Hey, sis! Dad asked me to give you these cupcakes, and we can hang out at lunch.
Go away, Lisa! And take your stupid stuff with you. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. I got up from my seat in anger, and somehow, my chair hit Lisa, and she fell to the ground with all the cupcakes all over her. Everyone gasped, and Lisa looked so embarrassed.
You're so mean, Callista. I'm gonna kill you.
She leapt forward and pushed my project model to the ground, smashing it to bits. I grabbed her hair, and we broke into a wild fight. The teachers came running and pulled us apart. And then our parents were called in. Dad was the first one to arrive, and he instantly hugged Lisa.
What happened, sweetie? Are you okay?
Mom was right. He didn't even look at me. He didn't care about me. And then Lisa told him I pushed her on purpose. That lying witch.
Callista, how can you hit your own sis?
She's not my sister, and you're not my dad. Do you understand me? Just stay away from me. I ran out of there in angry tears, and after that, even though Dad tried to talk to me, I completely refused to. But he still sent me gifts on Christmas and my birthdays that I always hid from Mom. For some reason, I just couldn't throw them away. Time went by, but Lisa was still there at school with me. And no matter how much I tried to avoid her, she'd somehow managed to always be in my face. In the 8th grade, we both joined the dance club. But when it was time to select the lead dancer for an upcoming event, the teachers chose me, and Lisa looked super pissed. A day before the competition, I was in the changing room when someone locked the door from outside and turned off the lights. What in the world? I tried to make my way around in the dark. Then I tripped over something and landed on the floor. Minutes later, Lisa and her nasty friends opened the door, and they were all laughing at me.
Seems like you won't be able to dance now, loser.
You witch! I'll make you pay for this. Ouch! I sprained my ankle pretty bad. And just like that, Lisa grabbed the role of the lead dancer. But I wasn't going to let her get away with it. While Lisa was performing on stage, I cut the cable wires and the music stopped. And so did Lisa. Her performance was spoiled, and I even paid some kids to throw rotten tomatoes and eggs at her. Seeing her screaming and running off the stage was awesome. A few weeks later, our school had organized an adventure camping trip that I immediately signed up for. And I was so annoyed to see Lisa had too. But the worst was when the teacher announced the teammates' names, and mine was frickin' Lisa. We both ran to the teacher and begged her to change that, but she just wouldn't.
It's either this, or you go back home because nobody else wants to switch.
This was a nightmare! When we went to our tent, I dropped my luggage on the right bed, but Lisa picked it up and threw it on the left. What are you doing?
If a wild animal comes in at night, the left bed is closer to the door. So he'll eat you first while I run away.
Huh? Why should I get eaten? You get eaten. Saying that, I picked up my luggage and put it back, and she kicked me. I kicked her right back, and we got into a fight. And just like that, our tent broke down. The teacher glared at us and made us sleep under the sky. The next day, we had to perform a few tasks as a team. The first one was tree climbing, but as I was climbing, Lisa pulled me down by my foot and I fell to the ground. She giggled and started going up, but I grabbed a handful of mud and threw it at her face. She lost balance and fell right next to me. Of course we were disqualified. With nothing to do, I decided to take a nap while Lisa sat by the lake. But all of the sudden, I woke up to screams. I went running and saw Lisa was in the lake struggling to swim, and everyone else was just watching. As I ran forward, someone tried to stop me.
There may be alligators in that lake. Wait for the teachers.
I just pushed her aside and jumped into the water, pulling Lisa out. The teachers came running and took us to the nurse, but thankfully, Lisa was completely unhurt, just really shaken. Later that night, Lisa came to the tent and just hugged me.
Thank you, Callista. If it weren't for you, I don't think I'd be here. Nobody tried to help me, not even my friends. But you did.
I couldn't let you torture the alligators in the water. And then we both burst out laughing. By the time we were back from the trip, Lisa and I had become good friends. Dad was there to pick her up after the trip, and Lisa told him everything. And then he walked towards me.
Oh, Callista, how can I ever thank you? You saved your little sister. Do you think you could give me another chance too?
Are you still not gonna tell me why you never got in touch? Mom won't tell me.
Then I can't either, sweetheart, but we can still get to know each other.
What was the big secret? I'm not sure, but maybe I'll try. The next week, Lisa and I spent time together in school, almost like besties. She even brought me cookies that her mom made especially for me, and I loved them. A few days later, she invited me for Christmas dinner at her place. At first, I was hesitant, but since Mom always worked extra shifts on Christmas and I mostly spent them alone, I decided to go. When I reached there, everything looked so amazing. Dad and Lisa were putting the decorations on the Christmas tree, and they looked so happy. I went in, and Lisa's mom opened the door, and to my surprise, she was very warm and welcoming to me.
Come in, darling. We've been waiting for you.
Merry Christmas, Mrs.
Oh, just call me Mom, Aunt, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Dad came running to me and hugged me too.
I'm so glad you came, Callie. You have no idea how long I've waited for us to get together as a family.
I was really touched by their lovely welcome. And when it was time for gifts, I saw they'd gotten me the best presents ever. Later, when we sat down for dinner and everyone was laughing and talking, I couldn't help thinking that this is what a perfect family felt like. Something I'd always craved for deep in my heart. But just then, the door flew open and Mom barged in.
How dare you people try to take my daughter away from me? Callie, I know these people tricked you into coming here. Let's leave now.
Mom took my hand and started pulling me out, but I pulled my arm away and stepped back.
Callie, what? What are you doing?
No one tricked me into coming here, Mom. I came because I wanted to, and these people aren't strangers. They're my family.
What are you talking about? Your dad never cared about you, and now these people have brainwashed you.
Amber, that's not fair.
You have your family. What do you want with mine?
Mom, stop. You brainwashed me. You always told me they were evil, but the last few weeks, I've received nothing but love from them. Today, I realized how happy it felt to be among family. And as much as I love you, I want this too. Mom, why can't I have both?
Well, you can't. You have to choose. It's me or him. Are you coming or not?
But when I didn't move, she stormed off angrily. I felt unhappy, but I wasn't going to let her emotionally blackmail me. Mom refused to talk to me for the next few weeks, and I did the same. She threw herself even more into her work, and I'd hardly see her around. But then one day, I got a call from her office. She'd fainted and been taken to the hospital. I called Dad, and immediately he took me there. The doctor said she'd overworked herself and had a breakdown.
Just make sure she rests for the next few weeks and has nothing to worry about.
Before I went to see Mom, I turned to Dad. I need to know. Just tell me what happened between you and Mom, please. Dad looked at me and sighed.
I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, Callie, but your mom became a bit crazy. She would throw tantrums over the smallest things, and she didn't trust me at all. We were miserable and fighting all the time. And once we got divorced, she was so possessive about you. She just changed her address and numbers and wouldn't let me see you. But I'm still sorry because I should have tried harder for you.
So finally I knew! I felt sad to hear Mom had been that way and how she had ended things with my dad. The next few weeks, I made sure Mom stayed put in that bed. Lisa helped me with all my schoolwork, while Dad made sure we had everything we needed. His wife even came over often to cook and clean for us. And I was so grateful that I didn't have to deal with all this alone. A couple of weeks later, I was reading by Mom's bedside when suddenly she took my hand.
Callista, I've had a lot of time to think, and I really owe you an apology, honey. I'm sorry for keeping you away from your dad. He did try to get in touch.
Mom, it's okay. I know. Dad told me everything.
I know I drove him away. And then I got even more bitter, and he'd moved on and married someone. It made me crazier, and you were all I had. I just didn't want you to get close to him. I think I need therapy. Callie, I know your dad cares about you, and it actually feels nice to know that there was someone to take care of us while I was sick. I'll be better. I won't make you choose again. You deserve a family.
So do you. And we're all here to help. I love you, Mom.
Hi, my name is Lily. Before I tell you my story, please like and subscribe. Before I was born, there were two things my parents loved more than anything in the world: their restaurant and their yacht, both named Ella. And that didn't change after I was born either. But soon after, their restaurant wasn't doing so well. When Dad knew Mom was pregnant with me, he said,
It's so expensive to raise a baby, we'll have to sell something. This child is already bad luck.
Ultimately, they sold their precious boat, and they never stopped crying about it.
Oh, if only we didn't have Lily and had Ella with us right now. We'd be having breakfast at sea.
And I'd be sunbathing on the deck having a child. Just ruins everything.
They never celebrated my birthday, but when I was turning 5, they decided to have a party and called all their friends. When I ran to the table excitedly to look for the cake, I felt confused. Why does this say Happy Birthday, Mom? Because I gave birth to you on this day? What did you have to do? Nothing. It was a really boring party because there were no presents for me, and nobody was paying me any attention. Instead, they all wanted to talk about their fancy new yachts. My parents were so embarrassed because they didn't have anything to talk about. Later that evening, Dad said to me,
I wish we'd put you up for sale instead of my boat.
That same year, my little sister was born, and on the same day, Dad unexpectedly found an oyster washed up on the beach with a rare gray pearl inside. He sold it for $50,000, and the money really helped them make things better at the restaurant.
Yeah, what a blessing this baby girl has been for us. She's brought us such good fortune.
And because of that, my parents decided to name her Ella. Like everything else, they truly loved.
We love you so much, Ella. We tried with Lily, but it's easier to love you because you're just so perfect.
They made me do all the chores around the house while they drooled over the new baby. I even had to change her stinky diapers because both my parents refused to. After a few weeks, they got really busy at the restaurant, and I was left in charge of Ella most of the time. I'd feed her, bathe her, rock her to sleep. I started teaching her my name.
Lily.
I'd point to myself. Ella would just look at me, and then she'd laugh and clap her little baby hands. But things changed forever when Ella turned 1. My parents came home from work one night, and Mom started yelling at me for not having dinner ready. You own a restaurant? Can't you just eat there?
We sell that. Food, you moron. What should I expect from someone as stupid as you? I guess we'll just go eat out somewhere. Come on, Ella.
But Ella didn't want to move. She slapped my mom's hand away and started to cry with her little toddler finger. She pointed at me.
Lily.
My parents looked shocked. Ella had just said her first word, and it was my name.
Lily. Lily. Lily.
What have you been teaching her?
Mom was so mad that Ella's first words weren't, I love you, Mom and Dad, and I hate Lily. Dad picked her up, but Ella kept kicking and screaming for me.
Fine, we'll bring your stupid sister.
I walked out with them, and Ella stopped crying. She smiled at me, and I smiled back. After that, Ella always had my back, and I always had hers. When I was in the 3rd grade, my parents took Ella to a boat show. They left me behind to clean the house. Of course, when they got home, Ella ran to me and gave me a present. I was so touched.
Hi. I love you, Lily.
It was a little red toy boat. I hugged her tight. When Ella turned 4, she had a phase where she wouldn't eat anything except hot dogs and ketchup. Her favorite part was when I squirted ketchup all over the hot dogs. Ready, Ella? Ketchup party. The funny fart noise the bottle made always made her laugh like crazy. When summer break was over and I went back to school, my parents had to hire a babysitter for Ella. One day when I got back, I could hear screams from one of the rooms. Just then, Ella came running out, holding a ketchup bottle and squirting it everywhere.
Yeah, ketchup party.
Behind her, the babysitter came out drenched in ketchup from head to toe.
That's it, I quit.
Just as she was storming off, my parents walked in looking horrified at the mess.
What on earth is Ella doing? Did you teach her this?
No, I did not teach her to spray ketchup all over the house. Mom caught Ella and snatched the bottle from her, glaring at me.
I don't know how, but this is all your fault. Clean this up right now and stop poisoning our little Ella's mind.
Just as she was dragging Ella to the bathroom, she slipped on some ketchup and fell on the floor. Angry as I was that I had to clean up everything, that made me feel a little bit better. When I was old enough, my parents made me work at their restaurant. I thought it would actually be fun waiting on tables and meeting new people. But what was I thinking? They just handed me an apron and rubber gloves.
You'll be washing the dishes.
When I asked them to pay me, Dad glared at me.
We already pay you by giving you a bed at night and a roof over your head. Don't be so greedy.
To make matters worse, they'd make me pay for any food I ate there. But I became friends with the head chef, and I'd eat the food he gave me secretly in the back alley. One time, he came out to hand me a bowl of mac and cheese, and just then, we heard someone coming and he dove behind the garbage can. It was Dad.
Where did you get that, Lily?
I took it out from the garbage. Do you want some? He looked absolutely disgusted and was about to walk off when he spotted the chef.
I knew it was you, thief. You're fired.
Of course, a few years later, when Ella started working at the restaurant, Mom and Dad got her the cutest uniform and let her greet the guests as they walked in. The restaurant is named after her. She should be the face of it. No, you named her after the restaurant and your stupid boat.
Oh, my boat. Every time I look at you, I miss that boat. Now get back to work.
Of course, Ella could order anything off the menu, but she still always had my back and she'd sneak me half her meal. One night when I was eating lasagna at the back of the kitchen, Dad suddenly walked in and he accused me of stealing. As he snatched my plate away, Ella came running in.
She works hard and she deserves it.
No, she doesn't, Ella. You work hard for your meals, not your ungrateful sister.
That was the final straw. I was done being insulted by them. The next night was one of the busiest ever, and the kitchen was chaotic. I had Dad screaming at me every 5 minutes.
Lily, hurry up. We need clean dishes.
I stopped cleaning them and just gave the dirty ones. Once back to the chefs, they were so busy they didn't notice, and the fresh food went out on filthy dishes. One even had a used napkin on it. The customers were so grossed out, a lot of them left without paying. A food critic was at the restaurant that night, and he threw down his napkin as he screamed,
"This is an insult. This would never happen in France."
And he stormed off with my parents following him and saying sorry again and again. Of course, he wrote a horrible review. Ella and I found it really, really funny though. We would burst into laughter every time we read it. Ella is the most disgusting restaurant on earth. Eat your meal from Ella or straight out of the trash can. Same difference. The reviews were so bad that customers stopped coming altogether. Eventually, my parents were forced to sell the restaurant.
I hope you're happy now. We can't send your sister to college.
What are we going to do for money now, Lily? Did you think about that?
Think of all the people who lost their jobs. You should feel awful.
But no one lost their jobs, Dad. Everyone got rehired by the new owner. In fact, I'm also still working there, and I got a raise. I skipped off before Dad exploded. I knew I wanted to go to college, and living by the sea had always made me want to study marine biology. I got a loan, worked part-time, and put myself through college. I graduated at the top of my class and got a research job. I would spend days at a time out on the water, and I loved it. With the money I'd saved up from work, I eventually bought a cute sailboat. I could see my parents turning green with envy. I offered to take them around for a spin, but they refused to go with me. When Ella hopped onto the boat excitedly, she asked,
"Have you named it yet?"
"No, but what do you think about the Lily Ella?" Her face lit up.
"I really like that."
And just like that, the Lily Ella set sail for the first time. A few days later, Ella came to me with a poster.
"Yeah, we should enter this contest."
It was a sailboat race, coming up in a few weeks, and there was a grand prize of $100,000. You think we can win?
I know we can.
As we were practicing one day, I was shocked to see my parents had a sailboat too. Dad yelled out to us.
Guess what? We entered the contest too, borrowed the boat from a friend.
But why?
Oh, he thought it would be fun to beat you. We spent years on the water before you were born, Lily. You'll never win against us.
It was the morning of the race, and Ella and I were getting everything ready when we noticed that something very important was missing. Our sails. How are we going to race without them? The race started, and everyone got off to a huge head start. I could see my parents pointing and laughing at us from the water.
Good luck without your sails, Liliella.
Of course they'd sabotaged us. Just then, Ella came panting behind me, dragging some disgusting sails.
I found them in the garbage. They smell so gross.
We set them up, caught a big gust of wind, and took off. We were pretty far behind the other racers, but Annabella was a speedy little thing, and we'd been practicing a lot. We quickly caught up to the rest of the pack, but our parents had a big lead. The finish line was fast approaching. We'll never catch them.
We're too heavy.
I turned to see Ella strapping on a life jacket. What are you doing?
Win this race, Lily, for me.
And with that, she jumped over the side. I knew she could swim like a mermaid, so I wasn't too worried about her. I immediately picked up speed after she jumped off. I turned around to glance at her once, and she yelled at me.
Ketchup party?
What was she talking about? I was right behind my parents' boat, and the finish line was only 200 yards away. That's when I saw a big squirt bottle of ketchup on the floor of the boat.
You'll never catch us, Lily. You'll always be a loser.
It's time for a ketchup party. And with that, I got close enough and aimed it straight at Dad's face. He couldn't see anything, and his boat ended up getting stuck between two rocks. I could hear Mom and Dad yelling, but I went even faster and crossed the finish line. Ella ran up to me and gave me a huge hug.
We won.
We won?
We are rich.
A few weeks later, the Liliella and its victory was trending on the internet. We were invited to race all over the world. Eventually, we bought a bigger boat with our winnings, and even though my parents had always been so mean to me, I bought them a boat too, to make up for the one they'd sold all those years ago. And I keep the red toy boat Ella got me as a present, right by the wheel at all times.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn, and I'm from Brooklyn. Please like and subscribe. My twin sister Brooke and I were born to a single mother, and we were the prettiest set of twins with gorgeous blonde hair.
Oh dear, I've always wanted a daughter, but each time, God gave me these good-for-nothing devils. How about you give me one of your girls?
Just then, I bit the woman on the hand, and she ran for her life.
Broccoli! How many times have I told you not to be so violent?
And Brooke, Mommy, Ashlyn.
Mum was shocked because usually Brooke was the one with a nasty temper, and I was the well-behaved child, but I just couldn't help it. People always tried to take us away because of our super long hair, which even Mum thought was going to make us super famous one day. But I wasn't very fond of the whole famous thing. I was a studious kid and I loved books. And Brooke was the polar opposite of me. Everyone at school was her friend, and she was head of the drama club with a huge fan following. In the 6th grade, I topped my grades, and Mum took us to a fun fair as a treat. But on our way, she bumped into a friend. And while I checked out the stalls, Brooke went on to buy some ice cream. But minutes later, I heard her scream. I ran to check, and some guy was fighting with her over the last piece of ice cream flavor they both wanted.
I was here first! Let go, you crazy witch!
Hey, leave my sister alone!
Give it to me now, or both of you will go home crying.
Suddenly, Brooke took the ice cream and shoved it into his face, and the guy went bonkers. He took out the biggest ball of gum I'd ever seen and shoved it straight into the back of Brooke's head. OMG! I kicked him in his knee and he fell into the pig pen in the petting zoo. But now Brooke's head looked like a bird's nest, and Mum almost fainted when she saw Brooke. She immediately took her to the hairdresser, but even the hairdresser freaked out when she saw the giant mess.
There is no way we can remove this. We'll have to cut it all.
What? No! But since there was no other option, they gave Brooke a buzz cut, and she looked devastated the entire way home. I tried to cheer her up.
It's just hair, Brooke. It'll grow back in no time.
But she didn't say a word. And when we reached home, she ran up to her room and locked herself in. So I tried different ways to cheer her up. This time,
I baked your favorite cookies. Brooke, open up. I asked Mom to buy tickets for the BTS concert, and she agreed. I'm gonna be a mom, Brooke.
And that's when she finally opened up. God, you're so dramatic.
So are you. Could it be we're related?
Days later, when the school reopened for the new session, I made Brooke wear a wig. But since it was summer, Brooke kept scratching her head like crazy the entire time.
Oh God, please stay away from me. I think she has lice.
How dare you even say that? She does not have lice.
Right then, the boy sitting behind Brooke noticed her wig coming off and he pulled it off.
Oh God, she's a baldy.
Wow, we can finally tell Brooke and Ashlyn apart. The pretty-haired one is Ashlyn, and the bald one is Brooke.
All the kids burst out laughing and Brooke looked furious. She jumped on the kid who pulled her wig and grabbed his hair until he let out screams. The teacher pulled her away and was about to send her to the principal when I begged her to let it go. And thankfully, Brooke got away with a warning. But the next morning when Brooke came down, Mom and I were shocked.
Did you forget your wig, sweetie?
Everyone knows what I look like now, Mom, and it makes me itch.
Come on, honey. You wouldn't want to go out of the house looking like an egg.
Mom, I think you look cool. Brooke.
Whatever, I don't need your approval.
Huh? What was that about?
At school, I warned all the kids to not mess with my sister, but it seems like Brooke didn't care about it anyway. And then one time I was in the school's hallway when Brooke's drama club members came up to me.
Ashlyn, Brooke left the club, but we really need a pretty girl lead for the play. Can you take the role? Please, please.
They kept begging me to replace Brooke and didn't leave until I said yes. But just then, a boy walked past me and I dropped all my books.
Hey, watch it, dude!
But when he turned around, I was shocked to see it was Brooke.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I didn't see it was you.
Yeah, that's the thing, Ash.
Saying that she just turned around angrily and walked away. And I felt so stupid for not recognizing her. After that day, something changed in Brooke, and she started to talk to me less and less, and Mum only made things worse. Every time we'd go out, she'd made Brooke wear a captain. A few weeks later, when we got home from school, Mom was screaming with joy.
Oh, honey, I have great news. Some weeks back, I had sent Brooke's photos to a company that was looking for a new model. And guess what? They selected her.
For the first time in ages, I saw a huge smile on Brooke's face. And then Mom said,
"But now Ashlyn will have to play the part."
What are you saying, Mom?
Mom told us that the company wanted to use a model for their new hair products. And since Brooke had lost her hair, my natural hip-length blonde hair made me perfect for the part. Just then, Brooke took a vase on the table and smashed it to the ground.
How can you do this to me? Those were my pictures. I was the one who got selected. She cannot take my place.
But what can we do if your hair won't grow back? It's been like that for months now, and God knows if it's ever gonna grow back.
Listening to Mom's words, Brooke ran to her room crying, and I told Mom I was not gonna do it.
Oh, Ash, I wish I'd never have to tell you this, but things are really tough at work for me right now. They might even fire me, and I'm so worried about how I'm gonna take care of my girls.
Seeing Mum so stressed, I had to say yes to the offer. But now Brooke was super mad at me, especially after Mom took her to the doctor and we discovered that her hair growth rate had slowed down drastically. For some reason, that's why her hair was taking so long to grow back. Later that night, when I was sleeping, I felt someone pulling my hair, and when I opened my eyes, I saw it was Brooke trying to cut it off.
OMG, Brooke, are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm crazy. And now I'm going to turn you into me.
Luckily, Mom came in just then and pulled her away. She scolded Brooke real hard, and after that day, Brooke stopped talking to me. The next week, Mom took me to the audition, and when I got the part, we had to fly to Los Angeles for the whole year, but Brooke was not happy about moving at all.
I don't understand why we have to leave everything behind just because of her.
Why can't you be happy for your sister? Brooke, this is a huge deal. And honestly, it's not like you have a lot of friends here. You could use a fresh start, too.
Despite Brooke's protests, we moved to LA. The campaign I did became a huge success in no time, and my ads were everywhere, on buses, on billboards, and on TV. By the time I turned 15, I had a huge portfolio of modeling work, and Mom had become my manager, and she decided to enroll me into a private school.
Honey, you're a celebrity now. Your safety and education has to come first.
I was more than excited to finally have proper schooling after all these years of modeling. And I asked Mum to enroll Brooke with me too. But as soon as we entered our new school, kids came running at me to take autographs and selfies, and they'd follow me everywhere I go, and I just hated it. But there was someone who loved seeing me so miserable. Brooke. Over the years, I tried to include her in everything I did. I would even get designer dresses for her to join me on the red carpet, but she'd just toss them away in the trash.
What is wrong with you, Brooke? I got the dress specially made for you.
I don't need your charity, Ash. Especially when everything you are right now is because of me.
I hated the bitterness Brooke had in her heart for me, and I wished I could just remove that.
Don't you worry about her, sweetheart. You have no time for her jealousy. You just focus on your work.
Time went by, and Brooke grew confident in her own look and joined a local modelling agency. And I decided I was going to leave the world of fame and finally focus on my studies. But the same day, Mum told me that I'd been cast as the lead for a huge movie.
But Mom, I told you I didn't.
Oh, honey, this is the last time, I promise. It's just that I made an agreement, and now if you say no, we'll have to pay a huge sum of money cancelling it.
Okay, but it's the last time.
A few days later, we had the announcement party for the movie, and Mum was taking me shopping for it when a card fell from her bag. It was an invitation card for Brooke's first play at the theatre, where she was playing the lead role.
Mom, we should definitely go to Cheerbrooke. This will mean so much to her.
It's the same day as the announcement party of your movie, and that's more important.
But I totally disagreed. I left Mom at the movie party and slipped off to see Brooke's performance, and she was awesome. I didn't find her in the dressing room, but I left flowers for her and left. My movie started shooting soon after, and I was a bit starstruck when I met the male lead actor, Tom. He was a super famous movie star at the age of just 20, and he had a huge fan following. But he was really nice and instantly made me comfortable. And over the course of the shooting, we became really good friends. On my 18th birthday, Tom even surprised me with a cake and congratulated me. But just then, I noticed Brooke outside my dressing room. I stepped out to see her, but she was already gone. And then I didn't see her the entire day. But the next morning, I woke up to the worst nightmare of an actor. My phone was buzzing like crazy and pictures of me hugging Tom. And rumors of our link up were all over the news. But there was no way anyone from the set could have leaked those pictures. And that's when I remembered seeing Brooke on the set the day before. Holy freaks! I couldn't believe she'd stooped so low. Later, when I came out of the house, there were paparazzi everywhere, and I had to disguise myself to go for the shoot. When I reached the set, we were about to start shooting when Tom's girlfriend came on set and threw the newspapers in my face.
You homewrecker! How dare you try to steal my boyfriend, you ugly-faced lizard!
I didn't steal anyone. It's all fake news.
Babe, can you please calm down?
But she didn't calm down and tried to attack me. Just then, Brooke came from behind and dumped a slushie on that witch's head. And security pulled her away for trying to create chaos on the set.
Brooke, what are you doing here after ruining my reputation?
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, stop it. I saw you at the set yesterday. And I know you're the one who sent my pictures with Tom to the media.
Have you completely lost it? I wasn't the one who did it. It was Mom.
What? The freaking Funyuns.
Mom was the one who sent your pictures to the media. I heard her talking on the phone this morning. That's what I just came here to tell you.
But I saw you on the set last night.
'Cause it was our birthday, dummy. You came to see my play even when you had a huge movie party. And it meant a lot to me. So I thought I'd repay the favor by visiting you. But as soon as I reached here, I received an important call and I had to go back.
But that wasn't all. Brooke told me she had doubts that Mum had been up to no good. And when we investigated it, we found out that Mum had been stealing from me and filling her bank accounts. Holy freak. She was a blood-sucking mosquito. The next day, Mum came screaming with joy at us.
I've got the best news, Ash. I signed you up for 3 more movies, and we're gonna be super rich now.
So that's why you sent my pictures to the media.
What? Who told you that? And even if I did, look at the bright stars. Beside all that publicity and dating rumors with the superstar, have got you 3 more movies.
But you sold your own daughter for money.
Shut up, Brooke!
Enough, Mom. We are not kids anymore whom you can manipulate so easily.
Yeah, you broke our trust and stole from your own child. You're the worst lying butt manipulator that I've ever seen in my life.
Oh no, don't say that, Ash. I did everything for you guys.
You're a liar, Mom. You did everything for yourself. And that's why I've canceled all your contracts and removed you from my manager's position.
No, you can't do that!
Guess what? We already did.
Suddenly, Mum completely lost it and tried to attack me. But thankfully, Brooke had called security and the cops and they took her away.
I'm so sorry, Ash. I always thought you were a bad person and always blamed you for everything. But Mom was the real devil and played with us as she wished.
It's all right, Brooke. You have nothing to apologize for. But yeah, I don't think I can continue to shoot this stupid movie. How about you take my place in it?
Really? You mean it?
Of course.